What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're here to talk about Nightmare Luffy this time around. Now, for Nightmare Luffy, you have to bring characters that are only free spirit, driven, or cerebral. So we're going to be covering that into today's video, bringing you guys 3 teams that can beat it, and yeah, we're basically just going to continue on with the Neo content, obviously, because there's not really much to go on for Global right now, so hopefully we get some more news in the coming days. But before we get into that, I want to talk about this brand new Neo character, or he's technically not brand new, he's actually been out for a long time, but he's finally returning, of course, Nightmare Luffy. Now, all of these Neo characters have limit breaks this time around, and they're actually really good with their limit break. So with this guy, he goes down to a 10-turn cooldown after his limit break, so that's very good. And his special ability is actually really nice, right? So it does heavy random quick damage to random enemies 17 times. Now, that's a little bit obscure, but for this particular special, it's going to be nice to have this max to take on one of the other Neo content, which you guys will be seeing in another video versus Neo Virgo. Having this guy ready for that is really good if you want to make Virgo a little bit easier to farm. But he does the damage, he removes Threshold by 4 turns, and he also will go ahead and boost Powerhouse characters' attack by 1.75. So for good damage, utility, and an attack boost for a free-to-play unit on a 10-turn cooldown, like, not really much about this unit that's actually bad. His Captain effect isn't very usable, and his 2 crewmate abilities are pretty mediocre as well, just being stat boosting ones. But overall, like, it's a special ability that you could see play in a couple pieces of content moving forward. So for those reasons, this is definitely one of the units you should be making sure to get maxed. Plus, remember, it is a Luffy character, so he gets access to a couple of decent supports as time goes on. So definitely one that I would recommend you guys to get done. You should probably get all of them done if you haven't got any of them ready yet. But either way, let's go ahead now and take on the Nightmare Luffy Neo content with the 3 teams that I've built for you in today's video. Alright, so jumping into it, we have the Roger team, using my man Goldie Roger once again. Now, for this particular content, the thing that you really have to keep in mind is that the final boss Luffy, while he only has 3 million health, which is basically nothing in 2021 for a boss health, he does revive, so you will have to have like 2 different turns of burst against him. However, when he revives, or at least after the first turn of attacks, I'm not 100% sure, but he's going to go ahead and give you a small attack buff, a small orb buff, a small affinity buff, and then a 1.1 chain lock. So essentially, like, if you don't have a buff that lasts for 2 turns on the final boss stage, you're going to be given a nasty buff that is one that you typically wouldn't want to be having. Also, you need 2 different turns of orb manipulation, because the first turn of the last stage you get given block orbs, and then on the revive he changes all your orbs into badly matching slots, so you need to have multiple different orb manipulation specials. You can see on this second last stage here, there's a couple of nasty debuffs, but we use some support effects to help us get around those, which is kind of nice. And then we have here this final boss stage, as we said, and not really much actually happens. Like, it's a pretty easy fight. It's just you need to ensure that you have multiple ways to get rid of your orbs, and also probably a boost that lasts for multiple turns is what I would recommend. For this particular content, we're going ahead and using Buggy for the orb manipulation on the revive, the Super Type for the orb manipulation on the first turn. We have the Shanks crew to give us a 3.5 chain lock, which means that when we kill Luffy for the first time, he doesn't give us the nasty chain lock on the revive, which is going to be more than enough damage to take down 3 million health. Plus, he does type change as well, so you may want to keep that in the back of your mind as well. Moving on now, we have my man V3 Blackbeard. I mean, V3 Blackbeard's not a character that I'm going to be using that often at all, so any opportunity that I think he's going to be a relatively decent option, I want to go ahead and give it a go. So for this particular team, we have a couple of really cool units, of course. We have this Buggy to help us get rid of the special bind on this stage against this Luffy, and also because our captain is driven, we get a full board of matching slots. We've also got Kaido versus Kaido is going to enable us to get an attack boost on this stage here, and then that enables us to get an orb boost on the following stage if we've hit our 3 perfects. And because of Blackbeard and the way that he works, when we launch his special ability, he's going to extend the duration of the buffs that we have, and because the enemy doesn't like blow away our buffs or remove our beneficial effects at all, like buff extending characters are actually going to be pretty useful for this fight. And because you're able to bring driven characters, you could potentially bring someone like Smoker, you could bring someone like V2 Raid Doflamingo, or in this example here where we're going ahead and bringing V3 Blackbeard. So there are a couple of different options that you actually have. In terms of orb manipulation as well, the treasure map Doflamingo, because our captain is driven, or I think he just changes the orbs of driven, but all the characters on this team are driven characters. So we get a full board of matching slots, and because of the way the Blackbeard works, he'll give an attack boost instead of a damage reduction from the Dofi effect, which is kind of nice. And then on the revive, because of those nasty slots we got given, even though we are extending our buffs, and realistically this could work, but because of everything, we're just going to use treasure map Cavendish, which gives us the ability to remove all of our positive buffs, and that also will go ahead and change all those badly matching slots into matching, and it also goes ahead and gives us an attack and orb boost. We are still inflicted with those nasty, with that nasty chain lock, but despite that, we're able to get the job done. So a relatively fun team to use in order to clear Nightmare Luffy. And then, of course, we wanted to run the Cerebral-based team. So here we're using double V2, Vivi, and Rebecca. They're really good captains because they will treat all type slots as matching when we launch their special to become the dual unit, which means on the revive, when we get given badly matching slots, they're all going to be counted as beneficial to our team, which is really good. Law isn't really useful for this particular content, but we're just using him because we can have the support of Corazon to get rid of those debuffs on this stage, which is a really, really nice touch. And of course, the switch effect of Vivi and Rebecca and the special is able to remove the special bind on this stage as well. Shiroshi Manchir is kind of nice for the revive because we're able to use that to get rid of the nasty chain lock and the special limiter on that final boss stage. I mean, removing the special limiter doesn't really matter, but removing the nasty chain lock is definitely a huge addition for this team. And then also having the V2 Raid Dofi to extend the duration of Vivi and Rebecca's attack and orb boost for our Striker and Cerebral characters is again another really good touch. And it enables us to get rid of those block orbs as well. And you know, even though he shuffles the orbs around, they're going to be treated as matching anyway because of Vivi and Rebecca's captain effect. So another really fun team on a character that I don't really use too often as a captain, but really fun. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.